Hi. Thank you for allowing me to join you today. So, yep. I was talking about how I was gonna come back and how the best was yet to come 11 months ago. And then 11 months later, I still hadn't made a video. Well, before I continue, I would just like to give you some disclosure about the next little bit of this audio. I am probably going to swear a little bit. I'm going to try not to do it too much because I think that sometimes it can kind of take you out of the experience of peace. But I should also warn you that, and I'm trying to talk as slowly as I can because I've already recorded this once and I talked way too fast. I completely lost my train of thought. I was saying that I might swear a little bit. And potential trigger warning, I'm going to be talking about loss and sickness and seizures and death. So if you do not want to hear that, I respect that. And you should probably turn this off right now. So I'm just going to let you make that decision. And my heater just turned off, so whoop-de-ta. Now it sounds more professional. I've said this before, and I'll say it again, because I don't have anything to hide. In fact, I'm very happy with how my username, Accidentally Graceful, came to be. I was in my mother's womb, and my dear daddy wanted to name me, at least my middle name, after his mother. But the problem is that he was a very silly man and he forgot what her name was. And so instead of naming me after my grandmother, I was named after my great-grandmother and my dad's grandmother because he got their names switched up, which obviously shows you how close he was to his mother, but also just how wonderfully oblivious a person can be to mix that up. And my mom did not like the name Grace because it reminded her of an old lady name, and she cried for 3 days, or so the legend goes. You're probably hearing, well, you might be, I don't know. You might be hearing my dog snoring in the background. This is where I'm at right now in my life as it pertains to videos. I am currently in our hall closet because the room that I originally planned to be for recording is right across the way from my beautiful babies who are light sleepers whenever I try to make a video. So back to Accidentally Graceful. I started this channel, 7 years ago. I guess going on 8, which is crazy. And, it's been one of those things where it's really evolved over time. And my initial vision for this channel was for it to be professional, high quality, somewhat disconnected, very emotionless, and just to the point to get the viewer to have relaxation and peace in their day. And the problem with that is I got faces, and I didn't want to just be this professional sounding voice from the heavens, and you never really know the backstory of who I am, which is why for over a year, almost 2 years, I didn't even show my face in videos. So if you are upset right now, or at all dismayed at the fact that this is an audio only video, then I'm very sorry, but this is what I can do right now. And another thing that someone had told me once was that a lot of ASMR creators, myself included, they were simply exhibiting personas. They were just personas. And that word made me really sad because I didn't want to just be a persona anymore. I wanted to be showing a real, authentic part of me. And so I tried to bring humor, my natural humor, more into videos. I tried to start talking about slightly real things-ish. I don't think I ever got to that point. But my vision at this point is that my vision is to have content that is going to help you be better, whatever way that is, whether it's showing the crappy side of life sometimes, and in sharing those struggles, helping to normalize those struggles for you, because I'm gonna be honest, 2019 I went through some shit, let me tell you. Actually, I'm not gonna tell you everything, not in this one video. I do have plans to elaborate more, but I've always tried hard to not say, oh, I had such a rough year, oh, woe is me. But my babies had the flu twice, and they were sick every 2 weeks for about a span of 6 months, and I lost a car, and then I lost my dad, so and I kind of lost my identity, actually. So yeah, I had a real shit year in 2019. I'm just gonna say that. And yeah, so you know what, I think that that's everything that I felt I needed to preface, so I'm just gonna get into it. I planned on making this an update video. Just making sure that we're still recording. We are, yay. I wanted to make this an update video, and when I used to deliver content somewhat consistently, I tried to start like this quarterly update because I didn't want to do it every video. I didn't want to do it every month because a lot of people don't like these. But a lot of people do. So I figured a happy medium would be that we just do this every few months. And today we're doing it once for the whole year. So if you do not like update videos, kindly move on, please and thank you. Okay, so January, I decided, this is quarter one. January, I was really excited about being back in the ASMR game, back on YouTube, making videos, but no, not, because my babies got the flu pretty much right after the video that I put out about my Rode microphones. And then I went to a work conference, and I thought, oh, perfect, I'm going to do so much. I'm going to make so much content while I'm there. And if you have ever been to a work conference, typically you are exhausted by the end of the night because you've gone to so many seminars and workshops and walked around and networked. And I am a social introvert, but I'm still pretty introverted. So by the end of that day, I was absolutely exhausted. Not to mention, I was still a breastfeeding mom, and so I had to pump multiple times, and I also had side voiceover gigs, and I had to run back and forth and edit voiceovers and pump, and then run back to the conference center from my hotel and back and forth, and that was really exhausting. So I got back spent a day at the park with my kids and husband, and that was great. And that Sunday, it wasn't right in the forefront of my mind, but I thought, okay, well, I'm going to get back into ASMR content this week. And then my daughter had a febrile seizure, which was one of the scariest moments of my life. If you don't know what a febrile seizure is, it's when someone's temperature, their fever spikes so quickly that it's kind of the body's mechanism of protecting the brain, and in that way just pausing it for a few minutes. But that takes on the appearance of someone dying. My daughter's eyes rolled back into her head, and she was not breathing, and her lips were turning purple. And we were driving when I happened to look back and see this happening. So that was pretty horrifying, and everything was fine. She is a healthy, beautiful baby girl. She had another seizure actually in November. It's not epilepsy, it's just that her fever spikes so quickly sometimes, and the medicine doesn't kick in fast enough. Or, she refuses to take her medicine, which is what happened the last time she had a seizure last month, so that was great. So I got a new car in April, which was awesome, because I'd already had I'd had my current car for 11 years. And then 2 weeks later it flooded, and my car got basically totaled from flood damage. And I was stuck in the median of this road along with all these other people, and it was such a strange moment, but it was terrible, but it felt like it was from a movie, because we were all just like in this together, these complete perfect strangers. And eventually my husband and uncle kind of fished me out. My husband walked half a mile to get to me and my car, and then we drove back because my uncle had a large truck, so it was able to kind of withstand the floodwater a little bit better. But it was just such a sad and helpless moment, because we wanted to help so many people, but a lot of them were just like, no, we're just gonna stick it out. And it wasn't such a serious flood issue to where there were casualties. Not that by any means, but there were a lot of car casualties, and my car was one of them. But it was very unfortunate, because I had had my car for 11 years, and I got a new car, and 2 weeks later, I lost it. 2019 lessons learned. Get gap insurance, even if you think you absolutely do not need it. And I am so lucky that we did in fact get gap insurance, which is basically life insurance for your car in the event that it does get totaled and die. Oh man, I thought that I had it rough then, but it wasn't really rough. It was just, it was a little bit traumatizing. It was kind of scary, because the water was rising, and it was starting to have a current, and it was really creepy. Kind of was afraid that I'd get sucked into the sewer, but it was not. I was fine. So yeah. The babies were just sick a lot, because my daughter was in preschool for the first time, and I think that she just was collecting all the sicknesses from preschool and bringing it over to us. But I also, there were some really good things. I got a new job in July, and it's a full-time job. It's my first full-time job since a while ago. 5 years ago. I've been working part-time all of this time, and if you don't know, I work for Parks and Recreation, not the TV show. It's not even around anymore, but I love it, and it thrilled me that I was working for Parks and Recreation because I loved the TV show, and then I realized how much I actually loved parks and recreation and nature and all those things. So I really do love my job, and it's unfortunate that I learned about this industry that I love so much right after I had a baby. But I don't know. I think that it's made me stronger and more committed to doing a good job at work. For some reason, I don't know. I think that everyone thought that I disappeared, and you were right to think that because I had a kid. And that is actually not true. I just found that I could serve people in real life and make a difference while interacting with people face to face, and that has been really, really cool. I mean, I'm really skipping through some things, but basically, there are a lot of factors for why I haven't made videos the last 11 months. But, I mean, honestly, life just gets in the way, and it's the hardest thing when you get out of being in the habit of doing something to do it again. Like, it's the hardest part about starting anything is starting it. And then once you do, it's a lot better, but my problem is starting it. So I started a new job, and some things here and there happened, and I got to do another 48-hour film project in my city, which is a really, really fun nonprofit. But wait, is it for profit? I think it's a nonprofit organization, but it's just for fun. Like, you make a film in 48 hours. You have to write it, edit it, film it, write it, film it, edit it, and turn it in within 48 hours. And I've done several, but it's always kind of a challenge. And it was really cool that a good friend of mine got to be in it, and my aunt and my daddy, and yeah. So my dad actually made us chicken noodle soup when my babies had the flu in January. Actually, I guess it was him and my brother that made the soup, but he delivered it. And then by September, he was really not doing too well. He had cancer for about 4 years, and it was in the base of his tongue, and so it was just getting harder and harder and harder for him to swallow. And then in October, I went on a cruise, my first cruise ever, because 11 months before that, my aunt kind of cajoled me and my cousin to come along on this cruise. It's weird because I've always wanted to go on a cruise, but this was like a weird group of women who wore sparkly boas and tiaras, and we had to wear certain things every day, and it was really weird. But I still had a whole lot of fun, and my dad had gone on a cruise 5 or 6 years before, around the same time, on the same cruise to Cozumel, and so it was just really cool to walk around and, I don't know, see what he was seeing. So I came back from the cruise and went to work, even though I wanted to call in sick because I felt like crap. And while at work, I got a call from my mom that my dad was in the hospital because he just felt too weak, and he felt like he couldn't last much longer. So they found out that all of these issues that he was having the last few months with him not being able to swallow caused aspiration pneumonia. And so that's why he was having such a hard time, and he was just coughing up a lot of junk, and it sucked. And then he got a stomach feeding tube installed. I don't know how to say that. And he was doing a lot better until he wasn't anymore. And I spoke to him the day before he died, and he said that he had gained 4 pounds and he was doing great. The last time I saw him was on Halloween because I invited him and my mom over. They're divorced. They were friends. So, yeah, October 31st was the last time I saw my dad alive. And he died the first week of November. And it sucked. And it has rocked my world ever since. And the first time I tried to record this update, I went into all the details. And I just felt like that wasn't appropriate for this video because I also got incredibly emotional and could not even speak without my voice breaking, and I just don't really want to do that right now. I don't want to share that at this very moment. So there was another piece of news that has really rocked my world, that has really shaken up my world. I found out shortly after my dad died, just less than 2 weeks after. And that's also something that I don't want to share. And I will share it. Don't get me wrong. I want to share it with you. But even my family doesn't know yet. So I need to wait to tell them. It's really not earth-shattering to anyone but me. So it's not a health thing. So it's not anything to worry about. It's just something that made me kind of lose a little bit of my self-identity. So anyway, that's something that I will tell you about in time, and I'm not trying to be evasive. I'm not trying to be vague on purpose. I'm really sorry. I don't know. I just feel the need to put it out there that there is some real shit that's going on in my brain lately. Just a lot of emotional things, but the good news is that my husband is an amazing rock and a wonderful, wonderful support, and my babies are beautiful and growing bigger every day and getting sillier and cooler and getting more personality by the day, and it's really wonderful to see. So let's talk about 2020, shall we? Because I have heard from quite a few people that their 2019 was hard. And so I was also a victim of this slaying. I removed ASMR from basically my Facebook and YouTube and everything, and it's not because I don't want to do ASMR. I absolutely intend to do mostly ASMR videos, but I felt the need to not limit myself to those. They're stories that I think need to be told, because I think that a lot of times in social media we try to act like we have it all together when we don't. And there are a lot of people, don't get me wrong, who are shaking things up and who are speaking about real things and about mental health and about real problems. And that's wonderful. And I think that we can't have too much of that realness. And, I could make some sort of change or just make something better. I've always loved helping people. I've always loved making people laugh. I don't always have the right thing to say when people are grieving or having a hard time, but I've always just really enjoyed somehow making them feel better some way and somehow. And I just figured that I've got nothing to lose here, right? I should make this place a place where I can make you better and you can make me better. Because at the end of the day, I have a real problem with people thanking me profusely for being so selfless and making these videos. And I think that that's definitely a factor of why I didn't make videos, why I was kind of scared to. There's so many factors, y'all. But that was definitely one of those factors, is that it's not selfless. I get so much out of this. First of all, I get affirmations that I'm doing a good job, and I am a fiend for affirmations. Full disclosure. So, and that's not a bad thing. I feel like I'm being in the present moment when I'm making these videos, or when I'm just sitting here in my little tiny hall closet recording space talking to a microphone. So I am going to try really hard to make videos in 2020, knowing that I've helped someone's day get better in some way. And if I can do that with this channel, and I can talk about real things from time to time to help someone better process their emotions, and talk about the real struggles and problems that I'm having from time to time, but still trying to maintain a positive outlook, then I've honored my dad, who insisted on maintaining a positive outlook, even when he stopped being able to do all of the things that he loved. So I am accidentally graceful because of my wonderful, perfectly imperfect daddy. And I really hope that I can continue to honor his memory and live the accidentally graceful way. So, my friend, I hope that you have a wonderful, restful, peaceful day or night. And I hope that you were relaxed despite that monstrous snoring in the background. And I hope that I will be so lucky to be able to join you again sometime soon. Let's make life better, shall we?